Have you ever wondered why this very video appeared before you at this exact moment? I assure you it is no accident. This is the universe's way of whispering to you, a confirmation that your deepest desire is already on its way to you. Your wish, the one you have held quietly in your heart, is no longer a dream. It is a reality in the making. Everything you desire begins in your imagination. That world you have been yearning for, the life, the love, the abundance, is already complete in your mind. You must see it, not as a future hope, but as a present reality. Feel it, taste it, live it in your inner world. This feeling is the key that unlocks the door to your manifestation. Assume the state of fulfillment now. Do not wait for your wish to appear in your outer world. Act as though it has already come. Feel the joy of its arrival. Feel the peace of knowing it is done. When you do this, you align yourself with the very reality you seek. Your senses may tell you otherwise, but your inner knowing is the truth, and the world outside will reflect it soon enough. The present moment is your creative power. Every thought, every emotion, every belief you entertain is forming the reality that surrounds you. Focus not on the absence of your desire, but on the presence of it. Imagine not what you lack, but what you already have. Live in that state, and the universe will move to make it visible. Faith is not a passive waiting. It is the quiet, unwavering knowing that your desire is already yours. It does not depend on evidence or proof. It thrives in the certainty of your imagination. Trust the process. The unseen forces are working tirelessly on your behalf, orchestrating events, aligning circumstances, and guiding people so that your wish manifests perfectly. Release the need to control the how and the when. Surrender to the process, for it is far wiser than your mind can conceive. Your role is to remain in the state of having, to continue feeling, seeing, and knowing. Let the universe handle the details. And notice the signs, the subtle nudges, the synchronicities, the coincidences that align with your desire. These are confirmations, gentle messages letting you know that your wish is unfolding. This video appearing is one such sign. It is a mirror reflecting your inner reality. Your wish is coming true. Not someday, not when the stars align, but now, in this very moment, as you embrace the feeling of already having it. Receive it, celebrate it, know it. Your world is transforming because you imagined it first. Everything truly begins in your imagination. It is not the events of the outside world that determine what you will experience, but the inner picture you hold, the vision you consistently entertain in your mind. Every desire, every longing, every dream first exists as a seed planted within your imagination. It is there, in that invisible yet infinitely real realm, that your future reality takes shape. Before anything appears in your external world, it is fully alive within your consciousness. The life you have been yearning for, the love you have been seeking, the abundance you wish to receive, all of it exists already in your inner vision. It is complete, whole, and perfect, waiting only for your awareness to recognize it. Your imagination is not a passive playground for idle thoughts. It is the creative force that gives birth to all experiences. When you vividly imagine the life you desire, when you see it, feel it, and live it in your mind, as though it were already yours, you are planting the most potent seeds of reality. The mind does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is physically real. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, your inner world aligns with the reality you are calling into existence. Your imagination becomes a living, breathing blueprint of your future, and every thought, every emotion, every sense of certainty adds structure to that blueprint. The world outside is simply catching up. It cannot manifest what you have not first imagined. Circumstances, people, opportunities, and experiences are drawn into your life as reflections of the state you occupy within. If your imagination is filled with lack, doubt, or fear, your external reality will mirror those feelings. But if your imagination is rich with joy, fulfillment, and the certainty of your desire already realized, the world responds in kind. There is a natural law at work. What you impress upon your mind will be impressed upon your life. The outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state, a mirror revealing what you truly hold in your consciousness. It is essential to understand that this creative power is not delayed, it is immediate. The universe is already responding to your inner vision, even if your senses have yet to confirm it. Everything you see, hear, or encounter is a reflection of your past imaginal acts, and every moment offers the opportunity to reshape your future by revising your inner assumption. By consistently returning to the vivid, detailed feeling of your wish fulfilled, you create a magnetic pull that draws all external evidence into alignment with that state. Imagination is not a fantasy. It is the seedbed of reality. It is where dreams are born, nurtured, and made inevitable. The life you desire is already alive within you, waiting for your consciousness to accept it as real. When you recognize this, when you live from this understanding, the external world can no longer resist your inner reality. The life you imagine is the life you are destined to experience, and it is only a matter of time before the outer world catches up to what you already know to be true. To truly manifest what you desire, you must assume the feeling of fulfillment now. It is not enough to merely hope, wish, or pray for your desire to appear. You must step into the state of having it as though it is already yours. The feeling is the secret bridge between imagination and reality. When you live in the consciousness of your wish fulfilled, when you feel the joy, peace, and satisfaction of already possessing it, you are planting the deepest seeds of creation within your mind. It is through this assumed state that the universe recognizes your readiness, and the external world begins to mirror the inner reality you maintain. Living as if your desire has already come true requires total immersion in the experience of it. Do not think of fulfillment as something distant or conditional. Do not measure it by what your senses reveal or by the current circumstances of your life. Your senses are limited, they perceive only the present, but your imagination is infinite. Feel the pleasure of your wish realized. Taste the sweetness of success, the warmth of love, the abundance of wealth, or the peace of health. Allow your heart to resonate with the certainty that it is already yours. In doing so, you establish an unshakable inner reality that cannot be contradicted by the external world. The mind responds more to feeling than to thought alone. When you cultivate the genuine sensation of having what you desire, your entire being aligns with that state. Your thoughts, emotions, and even your actions begin to flow from this new center of consciousness. You speak differently, move differently, and interact with life differently. The world notices this shift, even if you do not consciously intend it, and circumstances adjust to reflect your inner state. This is the law of assumption in action. Your outer world is a reflection of the reality you feel inside. Assuming fulfillment also means releasing doubt and impatience. Doubt is the greatest barrier to manifestation because it contradicts the feeling of already having. Impatience creates tension that obstructs the natural flow of your desire into reality. Instead, immerse yourself in the sensation of fulfillment, allowing it to pervade every thought, every moment, and every action. When you feel complete, even in the absence of external evidence, you are signaling to the universe that your desire is already accomplished. The joy of assumption is transformative. It is not a forced act, but a natural expression of knowing your wish is certain. Peace accompanies the state of fulfillment because you no longer strive or chase. You simply accept. Satisfaction rises from the recognition that your inner reality is unchangeable and eternal, and that all outer circumstances will align to confirm it. By consistently living in this assumed state, you create a magnetic field that draws everything necessary to make your desire tangible. The feeling of fulfillment is the key that opens the door between imagination and reality. To live as if your wish has already come true is not fantasy. It is the most practical, most powerful act you can perform. In this state, you exist in harmony with the universe, and your desire becomes inevitable. The world outside cannot resist what your inner being already knows to be true. The joy, peace, and satisfaction of fulfillment are not rewards. They are the proof that your wish is already yours. The present moment is the most powerful tool you possess. It is not yesterday or tomorrow that shapes your life, but the state you occupy right now. Every thought you think, every feeling you allow, and every assumption you hold in this very instant is actively creating the world around you. Reality is not separate from you. It is the reflection of your inner state. When you understand this, you realize that the power to change your life is not somewhere in the future or in the hands of others. It resides entirely in the now. Your imagination and your consciousness are continuously expressing themselves through the experiences that surround you. To wield this creative power, you must direct your attention deliberately. Most people allow their minds to dwell on what is lacking, what has gone wrong, or what seems impossible. This focus on absence only reinforces more absence. Whatever you give your attention to, whether it is fear, doubt, or scarcity, you are calling into being. Conversely, if you focus on the state you desire, the life you wish to live, the love you wish to experience, the abundance you wish to enjoy, you are planting the seeds of its manifestation. The outer world must obey the law of your inner state. You cannot escape this law, and it is your greatest ally when you consciously employ it. The present moment is not simply a point in time, it is a fertile field of creation. Each thought is a seed, and each feeling is the soil in which that seed takes root. If you nurture thoughts of hope, joy, and fulfillment, and if you cultivate feelings of confidence, gratitude, and satisfaction, your inner garden flourishes. Your imagination, when aligned with positive feeling, becomes a magnet that draws experiences, people, and opportunities that correspond to that state. The world outside does not control you, it is controlled by the state you maintain within. Focusing on the state you want requires discipline, for the mind naturally drifts toward familiar patterns of fear, doubt, or lack. You must consciously redirect your attention to the life you are creating. Feel it, believe it, and act as if it is already true. Live from that state in the present moment, and the outer world cannot help but conform. Time itself is pliable. When you occupy the state of your wish fulfilled, past limitations dissolve, and future possibilities align effortlessly. Make light of your wish fulfilled. Past limitations dissolve, and future possibilities align effortlessly. This is the secret. The present moment is not something to endure. It is the canvas upon which your dreams are painted. Every experience, no matter how small, is a reflection of the state you occupy now. If you are anxious, fearful, or doubtful, you will attract circumstances that mirror these emotions. But if you embrace joy, confidence, and the certainty of your desires, your environment becomes a confirmation of your inner world. The key is consistency. Persist in the state you wish to embody. Return again and again to it, no matter what external events appear to contradict it. Your inner world is the law, and the outer world is its expression. By mastering the present moment, you take full responsibility for your reality. You stop blaming circumstances, people, or events. You become a conscious creator, aware that everything you experience is the direct result of the state you choose to occupy. Focus not on what is missing, but on the state you want. Feel it, embody it, and let it dominate your consciousness. In doing so, you harness the infinite creative power of now, and your life transforms into the reflection of your imagination made real. Faith is not a passive act of waiting, it is an active state of knowing. True faith does not depend on evidence, circumstances, or the approval of the outside world. It is the quiet, unwavering certainty that your desire is already fulfilled. Most people mistake faith for hope, thinking that to have faith means to wait patiently for some future event to materialize. But this is not faith. It is longing. Faith is the recognition that what you have imagined, what you have assumed, already exists, whether or not your senses can perceive it. It is a deep inner knowing, a certainty so complete that external conditions cannot shake it. To have faith in this sense is to claim your desire before it appears. It is to live in the consciousness of fulfillment and to refuse to be swayed by appearances. When you know with absolute clarity that your wish is certain, you create a magnetic state that draws circumstances, people, and events into perfect alignment with your inner reality. Your knowing acts as a force, unseen yet undeniable, that bends the outer world to reflect the truth of your imagination. It is a power far greater than logic, evidence, or reason, for the outer world is always a reflection of the inner world, and your inner certainty is unshakable. Faith as knowing requires that you dismiss all contradiction. Do not allow your senses to define reality. What you see, hear, or feel in the external world is not the final measure of what is possible. It is only a temporary manifestation of past assumptions. Your present knowing supersedes all evidence. If you are aware that your desire is fulfilled, if you feel it deeply, if you carry the state within you with unwavering confidence, then no external condition can prevent its manifestation. Circumstances are fluid. They adjust to your state, not the other way around. The world cannot resist a mind that knows its desire is already realized. Faith also demands patience of a different kind, a quiet patience that does not fidget or worry about timing. You do not need to see the signs immediately or understand the process. You need only maintain the state of knowing. When doubt or fear arises, do not indulge it. Return immediately to the certainty of your desire accomplished. Let your imagination hold the picture in vivid detail. Let your emotions resonate with fulfillment, and let your inner being remain steadfast in this knowledge. By doing so, you are effectively moving your desire from the invisible realm into the visible one. The power of knowing is absolute. While the senses may report a different story, your inner certainty dictates the final outcome. Your knowing is more potent than any obstacle, any limitation, and any apparent impossibility. It does not waver in the face of adversity. It shines with the quiet assurance that the unseen is always working in your favor. When you truly embody faith as knowing, you are no longer a passive participant in life, you are an active creator. Every thought, every emotion, every assumption is aligned with the inevitable reality of your wish fulfilled. Faith is the key that transforms imagination into reality. It is not hope, not waiting, not uncertainty. It is the unshakable awareness that what you desire exists now. This knowing transcends circumstance, surpasses evidence, and defies all doubt. When you live from this state, the universe conspires with you, and your outer world becomes a perfect reflection of your inner certainty. Trust in this power, for your knowing is the ultimate creative force, and it is far stronger than anything your senses may reveal. Surrendering to the process is one of the most essential steps in the art of manifestation. Most people misunderstand the power of letting go, believing that they must control every detail, every step, and every outcome of their desires. They ask themselves, how will this happen? When will it arrive? These questions, while natural, indicate a mind still attached to the limitations of the external world. True surrender is the understanding that you do not need to know the how or the when. Your responsibility is not to manipulate events or force circumstances. It is to remain in the state of already having what you desire. The unseen forces of the universe are infinitely capable and perfectly aligned to bring your inner reality into manifestation. When you release the need to control, you free yourself from tension and doubt. Surrender is not giving up, it is a conscious choice to trust the process, to trust the power of your own consciousness, and to trust that the universe will respond to the state you maintain. The more you cling to specific methods, the more resistance you create. The mind cannot force reality. It can only assume the state of fulfillment and allow reality to respond. Reality, by letting go of how and when, you step out of the limitation of human reasoning and into the infinite creativity of your imagination. The unseen forces always work on your behalf. There is an intelligence far greater than your mind, one that orchestrates circumstances, aligns opportunities, and brings people into your life in perfect timing. You do not need to manage these forces. They are already at work, responding to the state you occupy. When you persist in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, these forces move invisibly, aligning events and conditions until your inner reality becomes inevitable in the outer world. Your role is to remain steadfast, maintaining the feeling of having and letting the unseen do the rest. Surrender also involves patience and trust. You may not immediately perceive evidence of your desire, but this does not mean it is not already accomplished. Time and space are illusions to the human mind. In the realm of imagination, your wish exists fully now. By maintaining faith and living in the state of already having, you align yourself with the eternal present, where all desires exist simultaneously. Let go of the anxiety that arises from waiting or wondering, and allow yourself to bask in the certainty of fulfillment. When you surrender, you enter a state of flow. Resistance fades, tension disappears, and your actions are guided effortlessly. You move with inspiration, intuition, and ease because you are no longer forcing life to conform to your limited understanding. Instead, life conforms naturally to the reality you have assumed. Your imagination is the blueprint, your consciousness the power, and surrender is the key that allows the universe to build from that blueprint without obstruction. Manifestation is not about striving, it is about assuming, knowing, and releasing. Surrender is the bridge between inner vision and outer reality. The moment you stop controlling, questioning, and worrying, you allow the infinite intelligence of the universe to work perfectly on your behalf. Trust this process, live in the state of fulfillment, and let the unseen forces orchestrate your desire. The how and when are already taken care of. Your only task is to remain in the knowing, to enjoy the feeling of already having, and to let the universe reveal the reality that mirrors your inner state. Everything in your life is speaking to you, quietly affirming the reality that your desires are already in motion. The world is filled with signs, messages, and synchronicities, all pointing to the unfolding of your inner vision. These signs are not random or meaningless. They are direct confirmations that the state you have assumed in your imagination is beginning to materialize. When you become aware of them, you will see that the universe is constantly responding to your consciousness, orchestrating circumstances and events in perfect alignment with your wish. Every sound you hear, every sight you behold, and every encounter you experience has the potential to serve as a mirror, reflecting your inner state. The first step is to recognize these signs as affirmations rather than coincidences. Often people overlook or dismiss them because they are not yet fully aware of the creative power of their mind. But when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, the world begins to speak to you in subtle ways. A chance comment, a fleeting glance, a piece of information encountered unexpectedly. These are all evidence that your desire is moving toward fulfillment. They are whispers from the unseen realm, letting you know that your inner reality is gaining traction in the outer world. Signs act as encouragement. reinforcing your faith and strengthening your confidence in the inevitable fulfillment of your wish. They are reminders that you are aligned with the state of already having, and they help you maintain that state amidst apparent delays or contradictions. The more you notice and appreciate these confirmations, the more your consciousness focuses on the reality you are creating. Every sign becomes a magnet, drawing additional circumstances, opportunities, and people that resonate with your desire. In this way, the universe continuously guides you, providing reassurance that your wish is certain. It is also important to interpret these signs correctly. Do not measure them against doubt or skepticism, for doing so diminishes their power. Instead, embrace them fully, letting them strengthen the knowing that your desire is already accomplished. Each sign is a tangible reflection of your inner assumption, a proof that your imagination has already set the wheels of manifestation in motion. When you see the patterns, hear the confirmations, or encounter events that echo your vision, take them as a message that your inner reality is being faithfully expressed in the outer world. Signs are not limited to extraordinary or dramatic events. They are subtle, ordinary, and often easily overlooked. A conversation that mirrors your desire, a thought that resonates with your wish, or a sequence of small coincidences are all part of the universe's language. By cultivating awareness, gratitude, and recognition, you attune yourself to these messages, allowing them to reinforce your state of fulfillment. The universe is constantly communicating, and every confirmation is a step closer to the visible manifestation of your inner reality. Signs serve to deepen your faith, maintain your focus, and remind you that your desires are unfolding exactly as intended. They prove that the unseen forces are working on your behalf, moving circumstances into perfect alignment with the reality you have assumed. When you learn to observe and appreciate these confirmations, you enter a state of co-creation with the universe, knowing with certainty that your wishes are not only possible, they are inevitable. Everything that resonates with your wish is a signal that it is already in motion, that it is already yours, and that the outer world is simply catching up to what your imagination has already accomplished. Failure, the life you have always imagined. Your wishes are not distant and uncertain. They are inevitable, unfolding now in perfect harmony with your consciousness. Thank you for taking this time to listen, to open your mind, and to allow yourself to recognize the immense power you hold within. Remember, the universe is always responding to your inner reality, and your dreams are already on their way to manifest. Embrace this knowing, live in the feeling of fulfillment, and watch as your desires become your living reality. There comes a moment when all the seeds you have planted begin to bloom, a time when the universe, in its infinite wisdom, repays you for every unseen sacrifice, every silent prayer, and every step taken in faith. That moment is now. You may have doubted, you may have wondered if all your effort was in vain, but nothing is ever lost. The energy you sent out, the kindness, the persistence, the love, it has never vanished. It has simply been gathering, multiplying, waiting for the perfect moment to return to you. You have been patient in the waiting. You have kept faith even when the evidence around you suggested otherwise. But I tell you, the unseen is more real than what your eyes perceive. Right now, beyond what you can see, forces are shifting, doors are opening, opportunities are aligning. The very things you once prayed for are already in motion, moving swiftly toward you. But listen carefully. Your task now is not to chase, not to beg, not to struggle. The universe does not reward force. It rewards certainty. It rewards those who stand in quiet confidence, knowing that what is theirs will find them. So release all doubt. Feel the gratitude now as if you already have what you seek. Walk as if your success is inevitable, because it is. Speak as if you are already living your dreams, because you are. You are stepping into a time of abundance. What once seemed impossible will soon seem effortless. The universe is repaying you, not in small measures, but in overflowing, undeniable ways. The only thing left for you to do is to receive. Everything in this universe operates on a principle that is as old as time itself. What you give, you receive. The energy you send out into the world does not disappear. It lingers, expands, and eventually returns to you in ways beyond your comprehension. The thoughts you think, the emotions you cultivate, and the actions you take are not isolated moments, but seeds planted in the field of reality. Each seed grows according to its nature, and in due time, you reap exactly what you have sown. There is no force in existence that can override this law. If you have given love freely, even in moments when it was not reciprocated, understand that love is never lost. It moves, it transforms, it circles back in ways that may surprise you. Perhaps it does not return from the person you expected or in the manner you anticipated, but it returns nonetheless. Every act of kindness, every moment of patience, every silent offering of faith is recorded by the unseen forces that govern existence. You may have endured seasons where it seemed like your goodness was overlooked. You gave your best, but the world did not immediately return the favor. You extended generosity, but were met with ingratitude. You supported others, yet found yourself standing alone when you needed help. In those moments, it is easy to believe that your efforts were in vain, that the universe is indifferent, that life is unfair. But that is only because you are measuring your return too soon. The universe does not work on your schedule. It operates in divine timing. Think of the farmer who plants his crop. He does not dig up the soil the next day to see if the seeds have sprouted. He trusts the process. He knows that beneath the surface something is taking root. He does not doubt, nor does he curse the ground for not yielding immediate results. Instead, he nurtures the land, waters the soil, and allows time to do its work. And then, in due season, the harvest arrives, not as a single grain, but in abundance. So it is with your life. Every time you have chosen faith over fear, patience over frustration, or kindness over bitterness, you have made a deposit into the unseen bank of the universe. And the universe never fails to repay what is owed. The energy you have invested is not lost. It has been accumulating interest, waiting for the right moment to be released back into your life, multiplied beyond measure. This is why you must never grow weary in doing good. Even when the world appears ungrateful, even when the results are not immediate, trust that your efforts are shaping a reality that you will one day step into. You do not always see how the universe is working behind the scenes. You do not always recognize how your seemingly small actions are creating ripple effects that will one day return to you in ways that are beyond your imagination. The key is to give without attachment, to act with a heart full of faith rather than expectation. When you give in order to receive, you operate from lack. But when you give because you trust in the abundance of the universe, you open yourself to a return far greater than anything you could have orchestrated on your own. You are not at the mercy of randomness. You are an active participant in the creation of your reality. Your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, these are the tools with which you shape your destiny. If you have planted good seeds, trust that your harvest is inevitable. If you have given freely, understand that abundance is on its way to you. At this very moment, unseen forces are working on your behalf. The kindness you extended in silence, the patience you practiced in solitude, the love you gave without condition, these have not gone unnoticed. You are standing on the edge of receiving all that you have given in ways that will astound you. Trust in the law that governs all things. The universe is merely reflecting back to you what you have already placed within it. Your return is guaranteed. There are moments in life when everything appears still, as if nothing is changing, and your desires seem far from reach. You have done the work, set your intentions, and waited patiently, yet nothing seems to shift. It is in these moments that doubt creeps in, whispering that perhaps you are forgotten, that maybe what you seek is not meant for you. But I tell you, what you perceive as stillness is not emptiness. Beneath the surface of what you can see, forces beyond your understanding are working tirelessly on your behalf. Just as the roots of a tree grow deep in the darkness of the soil long before its branches reach for the sky, your manifestations are taking form in the unseen. You may not yet see the results, but that does not mean they are not coming. The universe does not operate on human impatience. It functions on divine timing, ensuring that what is meant for you arrives not a moment too early or too late, but precisely when you are ready to receive it. Consider the caterpillar that spins itself into a cocoon. To the outside world, it looks as though nothing is happening. It appears lifeless, unmoving, as if it has been abandoned by time. But inside, a miraculous transformation is taking place. Its very structure is dissolving, reforming into something entirely new. If someone were to intervene too soon, breaking the cocoon before the process is complete, the butterfly would not survive. So too is your journey. If you were to receive everything you asked for in an instant, before you were truly prepared, it might not serve you in the way you imagine. Delays are not denials, they are preparation. When things do not unfold as quickly as you would like, trust that there is a reason. The universe is aligning circumstances, moving people, and creating opportunities that you cannot yet perceive. If something has not yet arrived, it is either because something greater is on its way, or because you are being given the time needed to grow into the version of yourself that can fully receive and sustain the blessing. Think back on your life. Were there not moments when you wished for something that, in hindsight, you now see would not have been right for you at the time? Were there not times when what felt like rejection was in truth redirection? What you call delays are often moments of grace, protecting you from stepping into something before you are truly ready. The universe does not operate in half measures. When it moves completely. What you desire is not being withheld. It is being carefully prepared so that when it arrives, it is perfect. Every obstacle, every seeming setback is simply a piece of the puzzle fitting into place. You do not need to see the entire picture to know that it is forming. You only need to trust that unseen hands are working on your behalf. This is why faith is essential. Faith is the knowing deep in your being that even when you see nothing, something is happening. Faith is the ability to rest in the certainty that if it is meant for you, it will find you. The impatience you feel is not a sign that you must do more, it is a sign that you must trust more. Right now, beyond what your eyes can perceive, the forces of the universe are setting things in motion. Conversations are being had in rooms you have not entered yet. People are being moved into position. Doors are being built that will soon open effortlessly before you. What is yours is making its way toward you. The waiting is not punishment. It is part of the process. And when it arrives, you will understand why it took time. You will see that the invisible forces were never absent. They were always working, preparing something greater than you ever imagined. Your imagination is the most powerful tool you possess. It is not mere fantasy, nor is it wishful thinking. It is the gateway between the unseen and the seen, the bridge between what is and what can be. Every great achievement, every invention, every transformation first began in the mind before it was ever made manifest in the physical world. The life you desire, the experiences you long for, already exist in the unseen realm, waiting for you to claim them as yours. When you close your eyes and see yourself living the life you desire, you are not simply daydreaming. You are stepping into a reality that is already formed. The mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It accepts whatever you impress upon it as truth, and from that truth, it shapes your reality. If you consistently see yourself as abundant, loved, successful, and fulfilled, then the world around you will begin to rearrange itself to reflect that inner vision. Most people believe they must first see physical evidence before they can believe something is real, but this is an illusion. Everything you have now was once unseen. The clothes you wear, the home you live in, the technology you used, before they were physical, they existed as thoughts in someone's mind. They were brought into reality through the power of belief and action. The same is true for the life you wish to create. Doubt and fear only arise when you forget the power of your imagination. When you believe that you are bound by your current circumstances, you limit yourself to what is, rather than what could be. But the moment you shift your inner world, your outer world must follow. The universe does not delay. It immediately begins aligning events, people, and circumstances to bring forth what you have accepted as true in your mind. This is why you must be intentional with your imagination. Do not use it to dwell on lack, fear, or failure, for if you do, that is what will continue to manifest. Instead, use it as a tool of creation. If you desire wealth, see yourself already possessing it. Feel the joy, the freedom, the confidence that comes with financial abundance. If you desire love, see yourself in a relationship that is fulfilling and harmonious. Let your mind live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, for it is that feeling that brings it into being. Many people dismiss imagination as childish or unrealistic, yet the most successful and fulfilled individuals throughout history have understood its power. They knew that their vision must come first, that the external world would only reflect what they had already accepted internally. If you wish to change your life, you must first change your concept of yourself. You must see yourself as the person who already has what you desire. You do not need to know how it will happen. The how is not your concern. That is the work of the universe. Your only task is to accept it as true, to live in the certainty that it is already yours. When you do this, doors will open where there were once walls. Opportunities will arise that you never could have planned for. People and circumstances will shift in ways that seem miraculous, all because you dared to imagine a new reality for yourself. Your imagination is not separate from reality. It is the blueprint for it. The moment you claim something in your mind, you set forces in motion that will bring it into tangible form. The universe does not resist, it simply responds. So dare to imagine boldly, without limitation. Step into the reality you desire and watch as the world around you transforms to match the vision you hold within. There's a great misunderstanding in the world, one that causes unnecessary pain, frustration, and exhaustion. It is the belief that you must struggle, fight, and push your way to success, that the harder you work, the more you will receive. But this is not how the universe operates. Struggle does not bring blessings. Struggle repels them. The more you strain, the more you affirm to yourself and to the universe that what you desire is distant, difficult, and uncertain. But when you let go of the need to control, when you accept that what is meant for you is already yours, you step into the natural flow of creation, and everything begins to move effortlessly in your favor. Think of a river. When you fight against the current, you exhaust yourself, making little progress. But the moment you surrender and allow the current to carry you, you move swiftly and smoothly toward your destination. Life operates in the same way. When you stop resisting, when you stop doubting, when you release the tension in your mind and body, you allow the flow of abundance to reach you. Many people believe they must prove themselves worthy of their desires through effort, that they must work endlessly to achieve their goals. But the truth is, the universe does not respond to struggle. It responds to belief. It does not bring you what you chase, it brings you what you are. If you believe you must struggle, you will receive more struggle. If you believe you must work endlessly, you will always feel like you are behind, never quite reaching the ease and abundance you seek. But if you believe that what you desire is already yours, that it is flowing to you effortlessly, then it must come. The reason many people fail to manifest their desires is not that the universe is unwilling, but that they are too focused on their lack, on the fear that it will not happen. Their energy is spent on worrying, doubting, and trying to force outcomes instead of trusting the process. But the moment you shift into a state of certainty, when you no longer question whether it will happen, but instead know that it is already in motion, everything begins to align. Letting go does not mean giving up. It does not mean doing nothing. It means releasing the mental and emotional resistance that blocks your blessings from reaching you. It means trusting the timing of your life, understanding that the universe sees the bigger picture, and knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. When you stop gripping so tightly, when you no longer chase, you allow what is truly meant for you to come with ease. There is nothing outside of you that you need to attain before you can have what you desire. The moment you feel that you must work harder, that you must do more to prove yourself, you are affirming that you do not yet have it. But when you step into the energy of already being the person who has it, when you feel the certainty of its arrival, it must come. You have seen this in your own life. The things that came effortlessly, the moments where everything just seemed to fall into place, those were the times you were in alignment. You were not forcing, not doubting, not trying to control every detail. You were simply allowing. And when you allow, you receive. The universe is always responding to your energy. The question is not whether you are working hard enough, but whether you are aligned with what you seek. The moment you release resistance, the moment you stop worrying and instead rest in the knowing that it is already yours, the universe rushes to deliver it. Because it was never far away. It was always waiting for you to stop struggling and simply receive. Nothing you have done has been wasted. Every moment of struggle, every sacrifice you made, every tear you shed in silence, none of it has gone unnoticed. The universe has been keeping record, not in the way the world does, but in the unseen balance of cause and effect. Every seed you planted, whether in faith, love, patience, or endurance, is now ready to bear fruit. You are stepping into a season where all that you have given, all that you have endured, will return to you in ways beyond what you could have imagined. It may have felt at times as if your efforts were in vain. Perhaps you poured your heart into something, a dream, a relationship, a path, only to see it fall apart. Maybe you gave your best, only to be met with disappointment or delay. But what if I told you that nothing was ever lost? That even the pain you experienced was serving a higher purpose, positioning you for something greater? The universe is precise. It does not forget. It does not take without the intention of giving back tenfold. Every hardship you have faced has been preparing you, refining you, shaping you into the person who can receive the blessings that are on their way. There is a divine order to everything, even when you cannot yet see it. The seasons of waiting, of struggling, were not punishments, they were preparations. Just as a seed must break open beneath the soil before it can rise into the light, you had to go through moments of darkness before stepping into your season of abundance. You did not struggle for nothing. Every late night spent working toward your dreams, every rejection that made you question your path, every sacrifice you made for the ones you love, these were not empty efforts. They were deposits into your future. You have been investing in something far greater than you realized. The return may not have been immediate, but that does not mean it was denied. What you planted in faith is now returning to you in full. This is the moment when the doors begin to open, when the opportunities you once dreamed of begin to appear. It may seem sudden, as if things are falling into place overnight. But the truth is, this has been in motion all along. What you once thought was a delay was really divine timing at work. You were never forgotten. The universe has been orchestrating the right circumstances, the right people, the right opportunities to bring you exactly what you need at exactly the right time. This is not a coincidence. You are stepping into a period where you will see why things happened the way they did. The struggles that once confused you will now make sense. The tears you cried will now be replaced with joy. The battles you fought in silence, the moments where you felt like giving up, these will all become part of the testimony of your victory. It is important now in this season to remain open to receiving. You have spent so much time giving, working, and enduring that you may have forgotten how to simply receive. But this is your moment to trust that everything you have done was leading to something. Let go of any guilt, any doubt, any hesitation. You are not being blessed by accident. You are not receiving out of luck. This is the result of your past efforts, the divine repayment of all that you have given. So step forward with confidence. Walk in the knowing that your time has come. The doors are opening, the path is clearing, and the universe is delivering everything you have earned. Nothing was ever lost. Nothing was in vain. It was all leading to this moment, and now it is yours to receive. Gratitude is the key that unlocks everything. It is the final door between where you stand now and the reality you desire. Most people believe they must wait until they receive before they can feel thankful. They think gratitude is a response to an answered prayer, a fulfilled wish, a visible manifestation. But the truth is, gratitude is not a reaction, it is a cause. The moment you shift into the feeling of already having what you desire, the universe rushes to confirm it in your reality. You are not waiting for your blessings are waiting for you. The moment you align with them, they appear. But alignment is not about struggle, force, or impatience. It is about stepping into the state of already having, already being, already living in the reality you seek. And the fastest way to do that is through gratitude. When you give thanks for what is not yet seen, you are declaring that it is already yours. You are moving beyond hope and into certainty, beyond wishing and into knowing. Gratitude shifts your energy instantly. When you practice it, you are no longer in a state of lack, no longer in the vibration of waiting. You are no longer affirming that what you desire is separate from you. Instead, you are aligning with the truth that it is already present, already unfolding, already on its way. And as soon as you feel that truth, reality bends to match it. Think about the moments in your life when things seem to flow effortlessly, when opportunities appeared out of nowhere, when the right people entered your life at the perfect time, when something you had been hoping for suddenly materialized. In those moments, you were not doubting, you were not chasing, you were simply allowing. You were, even if unknowingly, in a state of gratitude, a state of trust, a state of knowing that what is meant for you is already yours. Most people delay their blessings because they are too focused on their current circumstances. They look at what is missing, what has not yet come, and they reinforce the energy of lack. But the moment you stop focusing on what is not, and start feeling grateful for what is already done, you shift everything. The moment you say thank you before you see it, you signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. Try it now. Think of the thing you have been waiting for, the desire that has been in your heart. Now, instead of longing for it, instead of wondering when it will come, feel what it would be like if it were already here. Imagine the relief, the joy, the gratitude of already possessing it. Let that feeling wash over you. Let it fill you completely. That feeling is the key. That feeling is what draws it to you, what makes it inevitable. Because when you can feel the gratitude before the evidence appears, you are no longer separate from what you seek. You are one with it. And once you are one with it, there is nothing left to wait for. The universe does not operate on time, it operates on alignment. When you align with the energy of having, you collapse the distance between desire and reality. The only reason things seem delayed is because your energy is still waiting instead of receiving. But the moment you embody gratitude, the moment you fully step into the state of already having, you unlock the final door. There is no need to force, no need to struggle. Simply give thanks now, not tomorrow, not when it arrives, now. Because in the unseen, it is already done. The moment you align, the moment you feel it is real, it must come. Not because you begged for it, not because you worked tirelessly for it, but because you finally allowed it, because you understood that gratitude is not just a practice, it is the language of creation. Everything you have given, everything you have endured, and everything you have dreamed of is now returning to you. The universe has been working in your favor all along, even in the moments when you could not see it. Your past efforts were never in vain. They were laying the foundation for this season of divine repayment. The invisible forces have been aligning, preparing the way for you. Now all that is left is for you to receive. Let go of struggle, stop doubting, step into the flow of certainty, knowing that what is meant for you is already yours. Your imagination is the gateway, your trust is the catalyst, and your gratitude is the final key that unlocks everything. The moment you embrace the feeling of already having, you step into alignment with the life that has been waiting for you. The universe does not withhold from you. It responds to you. And now it is responding to the energy you have put forth. You are stepping into a season where you will finally understand why things happened the way they did. Everything is falling into place, and all that is left is for you to welcome it with open arms. Do not be deceived by appearances. What you see now is not the final chapter. The one who has begun a great work in you does not abandon his creation. What has been set in motion in the unseen must be fulfilled. Your desires, your visions, your deepest longings, these are not random. They are divine whispers reminding you of what already belongs to you. So many allow doubt to creep in. They question, they struggle, they beg. But I tell you, your battle is not to force or to fight. It is simply to believe. The seed has already been planted. The tree does not question whether it will grow. It simply unfolds in time. So must you. Look beyond the present moment. Do not let temporary obstacles deceive you. The unseen is far more real than what you touch and see. Your current reality is only a reflection of past assumptions. But the future, the future is shaped by what you accept as true now. You may say, but I do not see the evidence. I tell you, evidence follows belief, not the other way around. Assume that it is already done, and life must rearrange itself to reflect your conviction. There is no force working against you, only your own hesitations, your own disbelief. Even if time seems to pass, even if the wait feels long, understand this: delay is not denial. The moment you desired it, it was already yours. The timing is not your concern. Trust that what has begun will be completed. So I ask you now, can you dare to trust? Can you rest in the knowing that all things are being perfected in their time? Walk today as if the promise is fulfilled. Speak as if the blessing has arrived. Let your heart be settled, for what God has started, He will surely complete. You need only believe. There is a divine order to life, an unseen intelligence that orchestrates everything in perfect harmony. What has been set in motion by this higher power is never left unfinished. The vision placed within you, the desires that stir your heart, are not mere wishes or fleeting thoughts. They are glimpses of a reality that already exists beyond what your senses can perceive. They are the whispers of completion, the echoes of a promise already fulfilled in the unseen. Many struggle with doubt, believing that their dreams are too distant or impossible. They look around at their current circumstances and see only lack, delay, or resistance. But I tell you, what is seen is temporary, and what is unseen is eternal. If a desire has been placed in your heart, it has already been created in the invisible realm. Your role is not to question how or when it will appear, but to trust that it must. The very existence of the vision within you is proof that it belongs to you. Consider the seasons of nature. The tree that sheds its leaves in autumn does not panic, nor does it worry if it will bloom again in spring. There is a divine intelligence at work, ensuring that what has begun will reach its fullness. And so it is with your life. If a seed has been planted, the harvest is inevitable. Your desires are not meaningless. They are the seeds of your destiny, already nurtured in the unseen. The mistake so many make is believing in the appearance of lack rather than the certainty of completion. They observe delays and assume their desires have been abandoned. They pray but then immediately doubt. They hope but still entertain fear. Yet faith is not a desperate plea. It is the calm assurance that what has been set in motion will reach its fulfillment. Just as a child does not doubt that night will give way to morning, so must you trust that what has begun will be perfected. The completion of what has been started is not dependent on external conditions, nor on your constant striving. It is not through struggle or force that your vision comes to life, but through alignment with the unseen truth. If you could see, even for a moment, the full picture, the divine blueprint of your life, you would never again entertain doubt. You would know without question that all is unfolding exactly as it should. There is a time for every manifestation. Some things appear quickly while others seem to delay, but delay is not abandonment. Just as an artist does not rush a masterpiece, so too does the divine work with precision, ensuring that every detail is perfected before it is revealed. Impatience does not speed up the process, it only creates unnecessary suffering. But trust, true, unwavering trust, creates an ease that allows what is already yours to come forth effortlessly. So what then must you do? You must shift your gaze from the seen to the unseen. You must no longer allow appearances to dictate what you believe. If you can hold the vision within you, if you can live from the end result and walk in the certainty that all is complete, then you will see with your own eyes the fulfillment of what was always yours. You do not need to beg, plead, or force things to happen. The work has already been done. The plan has already been set in motion. All that is required is your faith, your willingness to rest in the knowing that the higher power that started this work will finish it. Just as a river flows effortlessly to the sea, so too must your life move toward its perfect completion. Trust, surrender, and know. What has been divinely set in motion cannot fail. It is already done. There comes a moment when you must realize that all the struggle, all the effort, all the pushing and forcing has been unnecessary. You were never meant to fight for what is already yours. You were never meant to exhaust yourself trying to make something happen that has already been completed in the unseen. Your only responsibility is to believe, to trust in the unseen reality, to accept that what you have desired is already accomplished, and to rest in that certainty. But the mind, conditioned by the world, resists this truth. It wants to control, to manipulate circumstances, to insist that things must happen in a certain way and on a certain timeline. It looks at what is visible and says, "This is not enough," or "This is not working." And so, people fall into struggle. They think that by working harder, by pushing more, by worrying, they can force their desires into existence. But the truth is, struggle does not bring results, belief does. To believe is not to wish. It is not to hope that someday, somehow, things will improve. Belief is the deep, unshakable knowing that the end is already secured. It is walking with the confidence that what has been promised is already fulfilled. It is assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not as something you are trying to make happen, but as something that already is. Look around at those who seem to move through life effortlessly, who attract success, love, and abundance without strain. They are not caught up in the struggle. They are not fighting for every opportunity or chasing after every possibility. Instead, they hold a quiet, inner assurance that everything they need will come to them. This is the power of belief. It removes resistance and allows life to unfold in the way it was always meant. Struggle is born out of fear. The fear that if you do not push, nothing will happen. The fear that if you let go, your desires will slip away. But fear is a lie. It is an illusion that keeps you trapped in unnecessary suffering. When you release the need to struggle, when you surrender to the truth that all is already completed, you free yourself. You move into a state of ease, where things begin to fall into place effortlessly. Some may ask, but if I do nothing, how will things happen? And this is where understanding is needed. To believe is not to do nothing, it is to act from a place of certainty rather than desperation. It is to move through life as though your desires are already fulfilled. It is to think, speak, and behave in alignment with the reality you have chosen. When you do this, the right actions will come naturally, without force, without struggle. When you assume the end is done, life responds to your assumption. The unseen forces begin to move, orchestrating events in ways you could never predict. Doors open effortlessly, opportunities present themselves without you needing to chase them, and the people and circumstances necessary for your fulfillment come to you with perfect timing. This is the divine order at work. But if you insist on struggling, if you continue to believe that you must fight for what is already yours, you create resistance. You push away the very things you are trying to attract. The more you believe in difficulty, the more difficult life becomes. The more you hold on to struggle, the more struggle appears. So release it. Let go of the unnecessary battle. Accept right now that the work is already done. See yourself already possessing what you desire. Feel the reality of it in your mind and heart. Walk as if it is already yours, because it is. When you do this, you will find that life becomes effortless. The need to struggle will disappear, and you will finally understand the truth. The battle was never yours to fight. It was always won. Your only role was to believe. Faith is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, the force that brings into form what already exists in the invisible realm. The moment you assume something as true, you set a divine process in motion, a process that cannot fail unless you interfere with it through doubt. Your role is not to question how or when, but to remain unwavering in your belief that what has been promised is already yours. The world around you is not random. It is a reflection of what you persistently hold as true in your mind. Your assumptions shape your reality, whether you are conscious of it or not. If you assume lack, struggle, or delay, that is what you will experience. But if you assume fulfillment, success, and ease, your world must conform to that belief. It is not a matter of luck or external circumstances. It is law. The inner world and the outer world are one. And faith is the key that aligns them. Many people do not realize they are delaying their own blessings by entertaining doubt. They pray for something, yet in the next breath they question whether it will really happen. They visualize a better life, yet they continue to speak words of fear and lack. They assume something is possible, but only if everything aligns in a way they can logically understand. But faith does not work this way. Faith is the certainty that the promise is already fulfilled, regardless of appearances. Doubt is the greatest thief of manifestation. The moment you allow uncertainty to take root, you begin to waver, and in doing so, you disrupt the process that was already in motion. Imagine planting a seed and then digging it up every day to see if it has started growing. That is what doubt does. It uproots the work of faith. The seed of your desire must be nurtured with belief, watered with expectancy, and left undisturbed. Faith does not beg or plead. It does not seek confirmation from the outside world. Faith declares that it is already done. It rests in the knowing that what is unseen will soon be seen. The one who lives in faith walks differently, speaks differently, and moves through life with a quiet confidence. There is no desperation, no chasing, no struggling, only a calm assurance that what has been promised must unfold. Look at those who manifest effortlessly, those who seem to attract what they desire with ease. They are not caught in cycles of doubt. They have trained themselves to persist in the assumption of their chosen reality. Even when circumstances appear unchanged, they do not waver. They remain steadfast, knowing that reality must rearrange itself to match their belief. And so their desires come to pass, not because they forced them into existence, but because they aligned themselves with the certainty of the promise. What you persistently assume as true must unfold in your world. This is not a mere philosophy, it is a divine principle. Your assumption creates your experience. If you desire something, you must live as though it is already yours. Speak as if it is done. Think from the end result. Feel the joy of having it now. The more natural this assumption becomes, the faster it manifests. The moment you shift from doubt to unwavering faith, everything changes. Delays disappear, obstacles dissolve, and doors open effortlessly. It is not because you have forced things to happen, but because you have aligned yourself with the truth that they were already meant to happen. You have stepped into the reality where your desires are not wishes, but facts. So hold fast to your faith. Do not be swayed by what your senses tell you. Stand firm in the knowing that what has been promised is already yours. Refuse to entertain doubt, and watch as your world transforms before your eyes. Faith is the key, and once you grasp it fully, nothing will be impossible for you. What you see before you now is nothing more than a reflection of past thoughts, past beliefs, and past assumptions. It is a shadow, an echo of what once existed in your mind. But it does not define your future, nor does it hold power over what is to come, unless you allow it to. Too often people become trapped by their present circumstances, believing that what they see is the ultimate truth. They allow their senses to dictate their beliefs, forgetting that the unseen is far more real than what appears before them. Your current reality is not a fixed state. It is fluid, constantly shifting and rearranging itself in response to what you accept as true. If you continue to believe that what you see is all there is, you will remain bound to it. But the moment you understand that the unseen is at work, shaping, aligning, and bringing forth a new reality, you free yourself from the limitations of the present moment. There are unseen forces at play far beyond what your senses can perceive. Just because you do not see evidence of change does not mean change is not happening. A seed buried in the soil does not reveal immediate growth, yet beneath the surface, life is stirring, roots are forming, strength is building, and in due time the results will break through into the visible world. The same is true for your desires. What you have set in motion through belief is already unfolding, even if your eyes have yet to see it. Circumstances are deceptive because they are only a reflection of past assumptions. They are not a prediction of what is to come unless you make them so. Many people fall into the trap of reinforcing their struggles by reacting to them. They look at their lack and say, "This is just how things are." They experience setbacks and declare, "Nothing ever changes for me." In doing so, they unknowingly recreate the same experiences over and over. But the one who understands the truth does not allow circumstances to dictate their belief. They look beyond what is seen, knowing that the unseen is more powerful. They do not react to temporary conditions because they know conditions are just that, temporary. Instead of reinforcing what they do not want, they hold steadfast to the vision of what they have chosen to experience. This is why it is essential to discipline the mind. If you allow yourself to be ruled by what your senses tell you, you will be tossed around by circumstances, never breaking free. But when you train yourself to remain fixed on the unseen reality, you become unshakable. You no longer respond to delays with frustration, nor do you allow challenges to make you doubt. You simply know that what is unseen is real, and what is real must manifest. Think of the great minds throughout history, those who changed the course of their lives and the lives of others. They were not people who accepted circumstances as truth. They were visionaries, seeing beyond what was in front of them. They held on to their belief even when all external evidence suggested otherwise. And because they did, reality had no choice but to conform. You too must adopt this way of thinking. What you desire already exists in the unseen, waiting for you to accept it as true. The moment you shift your belief, truly and deeply, everything begins to move in your favor. Circumstances will change, doors will open, and opportunities will arise, not by chance, but by law. So, do not be deceived by appearances. What you see now is irrelevant. It holds no power unless you give it power. Instead, fix your mind on the unseen reality, knowing that forces beyond your comprehension are aligning everything perfectly. Remain steadfast, unshaken, and certain what you have assumed is true must unfold. It is already done. There is an appointed time for everything. The desires you have set in motion through belief are not being denied. They are simply aligning themselves with the perfect moment. Too often, people mistake delay for failure, assuming that if something has not yet appeared, it must mean that it never will. But this is a misunderstanding of how divine timing works. Nothing is ever truly delayed. Everything arrives exactly when it is meant to. When you plant a seed in the ground, you do not expect it to sprout instantly. You understand that it must go through a process. First, the roots must take hold beneath the surface, unseen and unnoticed. Then, when the time is right, the plant breaks through the soil and becomes visible. If you were to dig up the seed in frustration, assuming it was not growing simply because you could not see it, you would be sabotaging its natural process. The same is true for your desires. They are growing, developing, and aligning with the perfect conditions. The fact that you cannot yet see them does not mean they are not on their way. Impatience is the enemy of manifestation. Many people give up right before their desire is about to materialize because they allow doubt to creep in. They mistake temporary stillness for stagnation, not realizing that the unseen forces are at work, orchestrating everything with precision. The universe does not operate on human impatience. It operates on divine timing, ensuring that all things unfold in the most harmonious way possible. Consider the times in your life when something you desperately wanted did not arrive when you expected it, but later you saw that the delay was a blessing. Perhaps it protected you from an unfavorable situation, or perhaps it allowed you to grow into the person who was truly ready to receive it. Trust that this same wisdom is at work in every aspect of your life. You are never being punished, only prepared. There is no need to force or struggle. What is yours cannot be taken from you, and what is meant for you cannot arrive too soon or too late. If something has not yet appeared, it is only because the perfect moment is being arranged. Trust that all things are moving in alignment with your highest good. The forces beyond your understanding see the full picture, while you may only see a fragment of it. Your role is not to worry about the how or the when. Your role is to trust. When you truly embrace this trust, a profound peace takes over. You no longer rush or chase, nor do you fall into frustration. You simply know that everything is happening exactly as it should. You move through life with an inner calm, understanding that the promise is already fulfilled in the unseen, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. Look at nature. Everything unfolds in perfect rhythm. The seasons do not rush, nor do they resist. The sun rises and sets at its appointed time. The tides move in harmony with the moon, and every living thing follows an inherent order. Your desires are no different. They are unfolding with precision, following the path of least resistance. The only thing that can disrupt this flow is doubt, impatience, or the belief that delay means denial. Do not let the illusion of time deceive you. Just because you cannot see movement does not mean things are not shifting. Even in moments of stillness, great things are happening behind the scenes. Trust in the unseen, knowing that divine timing is always perfect. When the moment is right, your desire will manifest effortlessly, as if it had been there all along. And when it does, you will realize that it could not have happened a moment sooner or later. It arrived exactly when it was meant to. There is a profound truth that governs all creation. You must become internally what you wish to experience externally. Reality is not something separate from you. It is a reflection of your inner state. The moment you assume that your desire is already fulfilled, you shift into alignment with it, and the unseen forces begin to shape your world accordingly. It is not enough to hope or wish. You must live as if it is already done. Many people misunderstand this principle. They wait for external confirmation before they allow themselves to believe. They say, once I have the money, I will feel wealthy, or once I meet the right person, I will feel loved. But this is not how creation works. The outer world does not come first, the inner world does. You must feel wealthy before the money comes, you must feel loved before the relationship appears, and you must feel successful before success manifests. When you embody the feeling of your desire as if it is already done, the world has no choice but to reflect it back to you. This is not pretense, it is a shift in consciousness. You are not pretending to have something that is not yet real. You are acknowledging that in the unseen realm, it already exists. The only reason it has not yet materialized in your physical world is because you have not fully claimed it as your own. The moment you do, everything begins to move in your favor. Consider the way a person behaves when they know something with absolute certainty. There is no doubt, no hesitation, no questioning. If you had already received what you desire, how would you think? How would you walk? How would you speak? How would you carry yourself? That is the version of you that must exist now. When you adopt this mindset, you send a clear and unwavering signal to the universe. There is no room for doubt because in your mind it is already done. And because reality must conform to your dominant assumptions, what was once unseen, the key is persistence. Many people momentarily assume their wish fulfilled but quickly fall back into old patterns of doubt and lack. They check their circumstances for evidence, and when they do not immediately see change, they waver. But the one who truly understands does not do this. They remain steadfast in their conviction, unaffected by the present moment, knowing that reality is in the process of shifting. Imagine an actor who has been cast in a leading role. He does not wait until opening night to step into character. He becomes that character long before anyone sees him perform. He immerses himself in the role, thinking, speaking, and behaving as that character until it becomes second nature. This is how you must live. You are stepping into the role of the person who already has what they desire. And as you do, the world responds accordingly. There will be moments when doubt tries to creep in. The old self, conditioned by years of seeing reality as something separate and fixed, may attempt to reassert itself. But you must remain firm. When those moments arise, remind yourself, it is already done. Do not react to appearances, for they are merely echoes of past assumptions. Instead, keep your focus on the end result, embodying it fully. With time, what once required conscious effort will become natural. The state of being you have chosen will feel effortless, and as it does, your world will shift to reflect it. Suddenly, opportunities will arise, people will appear, and circumstances will rearrange themselves to match your assumption, not by force, not by struggle, but by the simple law that what you believe to be true must become your reality. So, walk with certainty. Speak as if it is already yours. Think from the end result and refuse to entertain any thought that contradicts it. Live as if it is already done, and soon you will look around and realize it is. Everything that has been set in motion in your life is already complete in the unseen. Your role is not to struggle or question, but to trust and embody the reality you desire. Circumstances do not define your outcome, your belief does. Delay is never denial. It is divine timing ensuring that all things align perfectly for you. The moment you live as if it is already done, the world has no choice but to conform. Hold steadfast in your conviction. Do not let doubt or fear shake what you know to be true. The unseen forces are always at work, orchestrating every detail in your favor. What you desire is not beyond your reach. It is already yours. Walk with certainty, think from the end, and trust that God will complete what He has started in your life. There is a moment in your life when the door to your breakthrough stands wide open. It does not arrive with noise or demand your attention. It waits in stillness, requiring only that you step through with certainty. Most people will walk past this door blinded by their own doubts. They will tell themselves it is not the right time, that they are not ready, that they must wait for more signs. And so the opportunity that was meant for them remains untouched. But listen closely. The door is already open. You do not have to force it. You do not have to push or plead. What is yours cannot be taken, but it can be ignored. You may look at your life and see limitation, struggle, or delay, but understand this. What you see with your physical eyes is only a shadow of what is truly happening. In the unseen, the way has already been made. The opportunity, the blessing, the shift. It exists now. And the only thing required of you is to step into it as if it is already done. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for evidence. Walk forward in faith. When you let go of the old doubts, old fears, old failures, you make space for the new. The only thing standing between you and your breakthrough is the belief that it has not yet arrived. Change that belief, and the door will no longer be something you wait for. It will be something you step through. You are not waiting on God. God is waiting on you. So today, silence every doubt. Let go of hesitation. Feel the truth within you. The door is open. Walk through it. Before anything appears in your world, it is first established in the unseen. The door to your next opportunity, your breakthrough, your answered prayer. It is not something you must force open. It is already there, already waiting, already prepared for you. The only thing that determines whether you walk through it is your own perception, your faith in the unseen. Most people live by what their physical senses tell them. If they cannot see the opportunity, they assume it does not exist. If they do not hear the confirmation, they believe nothing is happening. If circumstances appear unchanged, they assume they must wait longer. But this is the greatest illusion, the belief that what is unseen does not exist. This is why so many miss their door. They wait to see before they believe, rather than believing first and then seeing. Everything in this world moves from the unseen to the seen. A tree begins as an invisible force within a seed. A great building starts as a thought in someone's mind before it takes form in the physical world. A journey begins in the imagination before a single step is taken. If you understand this, then you will no longer ask, "When will my door open?" Instead, you will ask, "How can I align with what is already mine?" You must realize that the door is not something you must strive for. You do not have to beg for it, chase it, or convince the world to give it to you. The door is already in place. But there is a law at work here. Only those who recognize it can step through it. This is why faith is the key. Faith is not hoping, wishing, or waiting anxiously for something to happen. Faith is knowing that it already exists, already belongs to you, and already unfolds in divine order. Imagine standing in front of a locked door. You know that beyond it lies everything you have been asking for. But without the key, the door remains closed. The key is not found in effort, struggle, or doubt. The key is within you, the belief that it is done. Once you know this deeply, without needing proof, the door swings open effortlessly. Doubt is the only thing that keeps you outside. The moment you question whether the door is real, whether you are worthy, whether it will ever open, you unknowingly turn away from it. It was always there, but your attention was elsewhere. Instead of walking forward, you look around for signs, you analyze circumstances, you wait for confirmation. But the truth is, the confirmation comes after the movement, not before. So what do? You assume that the door is open. You walk as though you have already stepped through it. You speak as though it is already yours. You carry yourself with the certainty that the way is made, that nothing can block you, that the unseen is more real than anything your physical eyes can perceive. And as you do this, reality bends to match your conviction. The unseen is the origin of all things. Everything you now experience first existed in thought, in energy, in a realm beyond what the senses can detect. The mistake most people make is believing that if they cannot see the door, it does not exist. But it does. It is waiting for you to recognize it. And the moment you do, everything changes. So do not ask when the door will open. Do not ask for signs to confirm its presence. Instead, align yourself with the truth. It is already open. Your only task is to walk forward in faith, knowing that what is unseen will soon become seen. The moment you accept this fully, you will find yourself stepping into the very reality you once thought you had to wait for. What you experience in life is not determined by what is available, but by what you are aware of. There are countless opportunities, blessings, and open doors surrounding you at all times. But if you are not attuned to them, they might as well not exist. Awareness is the gateway to your next step. If you do not see the door, you cannot walk through it. If you do not perceive the opportunity, you will pass it by, believing that nothing is changing. Many people spend their lives asking for a breakthrough, praying for a shift, hoping for change, yet they continue to miss what is right in front of them. They think that their blessing is far off in the distance, when in reality it is already present, waiting to be recognized. The problem is not that the door is closed. The problem is that they have not trained their awareness to recognize it. They are looking for something grand, something obvious, something that matches their limited expectations. And because of this, they fail to see how the divine works. God does not always open doors in the way you expect. Opportunities do not always arrive with flashing lights and loud announcements. Sometimes the door appears in the form of an idea, a chance meeting, an unexpected change, or even what seems like a setback. If you are only looking with physical eyes, you may call it coincidence or misfortune. But if your awareness is sharp, you will recognize it for what it is, the path opening before you. Two people can walk into the same room, yet one sees an opportunity, while the other sees nothing. The difference is not in the room itself, but in the perception of the person. One is ready, attuned, expectant. The other is doubtful, distracted, or unaware. The same door is present for both, yet only one will walk through. This is why your awareness is the key to entering what has already been prepared for you. You do not receive based on what you desire alone. You receive based on what you are conscious of. If you are conscious of lack, you will continue to experience lack, even in the presence of abundance. If you are conscious of delays, you will continue to see obstacles, even when the path is clear. Your awareness acts as a filter, allowing you to see only what matches your inner state. This is why shifting your perception is the most important step. Stop asking, "Where is my opportunity?" and start declaring it is here. Stop saying, "I see no way," and start affirming the way is already made. When you shift your focus, when you heighten your awareness, you will begin to notice what was always there but remained unseen. The mind plays a powerful role in this process. If you believe that life is hard, that doors never open for you, that things always take time, then you will walk past open doors without even realizing they exist. But if you train yourself to expect favor, to expect movement, to expect divine timing, your awareness will shift, and suddenly what seemed invisible will become undeniable. Many people wait for circumstances to change before they adjust their perspective, but this is backward. Your awareness must change first. You must see yourself already inside the new reality before it appears externally. You must become the person who walks through open doors, who expects alignment, who trusts that every step is guiding them towards something greater. So do not pray for opportunities alone. Pray for the awareness to recognize them. Do not wait for a perfect sign. Become the person who sees beyond the surface. Trust that the way is already made, the door is already open, and your only task is to step forward with a new vision. The moment you do, what was once hidden will be revealed, and what you thought was missing will be found right before your eyes. You cannot step into the new while clinging to the old. The very act of holding on to what was prevents you from receiving what is waiting for you. Too often, people pray for change while still anchored to past
Letting go is not
disappointments,
always
fears,
easy.
and doubts.
The mind
They
clings to
desire
what is
a new
familiar
beginning,
even
but
when it no
refuse
longer
to
benefits
release
you.
what no longer serves.
Imagine
Hold
trying
on
to
to
walk through
hurt
an
the truth
open
is
door while
you
looking
cannot
into
enter a
something
new
heavy
beginning
behind
with
you.
the
The
weight
fear
of the
because it
past.
feels
No matter
still
how
on your
much you
shoulders.
desire to
To
move
move
forward,
forward,
resist
the
change
weight
because
will hold you back.
uncertainty seems
You must
more
let go.
frightening
You will
than
struggle
remaining in a
feeling like
situation
nothing
that
is
is no longer
changing,
right for you.
not because the door is closed,
But understand
because
this.
you refuse to release.
Holding on to what no
keeping you
longer
stuck.
aligns with your growth.
Many do
is
not
the
realize
very
that they are
thing
not
blocking
waiting for
what
new
is meant for you.
opportunities.
New opportunities are waiting for them to let go. The past no longer has power over you unless you continue to feed it with your focus and emotions. Every disappointment, every setback, every failure is already gone.
To step into your
Yet if
next
you keep
level,
reliving
you
it in
must
your
release
mind,
everything
you
that
keep it
belongs to
alive
the
in your
old.
present.
You say
Let
you want to
go of
step into a new
resentment.
chapter,
Let
yet you
go of the
replay old
need for
stories of why
closure.
things didn't work out,
Let go of
why you
waiting
were
for an
hurt,
apology
why
that
life
may
has
never
been
come.
unfair. But how can
Let
you
go of
expect
your
to enter
attachment
something
to
new
how things should
while
have been.
carrying the energy of what
The
is
more
already
you
finished?
release,
The
letting
lighter
go
you
does not
become,
mean forgetting or
and the
pretending
easier
that the
it is
past
to step
didn't
fear
happen.
is one of the
Open
greatest
door
reasons
means
people stay
deciding
stuck.
that it no longer
They fear that if
controls
they
you.
let go, they will have nothing.
It
When you
means
finally
choosing
release
to no
it,
longer
they
identify
open yourself
with
up
what
to
went
wrong
wrong, but
choice.
instead
You
focusing
begin
on
to
what is
notice
now
fear is only an
opportunities that
illusion.
were
When
always
you
there,
shift
an
your
obstacle
attention
had been hidden
from
by
what
your
blocks
attachment
you
to the
within familiar
past. To what you are
territory,
gaining,
you begin to
may
feel
growth
lighter,
requires
more
stepping
aligned,
into the
more at
unknown,
peace.
You
Trusting
no
that what
longer
is ahead
resist
is
change,
greater
but
than what is
embrace
behind,
it.
knowing that each ending is simply a doorway to a greater beginning. So take a deep breath and make a decision. Let go of what was. Release the fear, the doubt, the regret. Step forward with the knowing that what is ahead is meant for you. The door is already open, but only those who are willing to let go of the old can walk through it. There is a power that comes from moving as if your desire is already fulfilled. The door has been opened before you, but it will not pull you through. It requires you to step forward in faith, to act in alignment with the reality you seek. Too many people wait for external confirmation before they believe. They wait for evidence before they move. But this is backward. Reality does not shift first. Your belief and movement must come first. And then reality aligns to match it. Everything you desire is already available in the unseen, waiting for you to claim it. The only thing separating you from it is your awareness and your willingness to move as if it is already done. When you hesitate, when you doubt, when you wait for proof, you delay what is meant for you. The universe responds to certainty, not hesitation. It mirrors your conviction, your inner knowing, your assumption of what is already yours. Think of the way a confident person walks into a room. They do not wait for others to approve of them before they act with assurance. Their presence itself commands attention. They do not question whether they belong, they assume it. And because of that assumption, the environment responds accordingly. This is the same principle that governs your life. When you move with the knowing that the door is already open, that your prayer is already answered, that your manifestation is already real, everything begins to shift in your favor. But if you hesitate, if you walk timidly, if you question whether you are worthy, you create resistance. You send a message that you are uncertain, that you are not yet ready, and life reflects that back to you. You must become the person who already has what they seek. Speak as if you have it. Think as if you have it. Move as if you have it. When you do this, the outer world has no choice but to rearrange itself, to reflect your inner state. Faith is not passive, it is action. It is walking into the opportunity before you see the results. It is showing up as the person you wish to become, not waiting for circumstances to change before you do. Too many people live in a state of waiting, hoping, wishing, but never shifting their own behavior. They ask for a door to open, but when it does, they hesitate at the threshold, doubting if it's really for them. But faith does not hesitate. Faith moves forward, knowing that what has been promised is already secured. You must embody the reality you desire. If you are seeking abundance, you must walk with the energy of someone who is already abundant. If you are seeking love, you must carry yourself as someone who is already deeply loved.
If you are seeking success, you must think, speak, and act as someone who already possesses it. The universe does not give you what you want, it gives you what you are. This is not about pretending or deceiving yourself. It is about aligning your consciousness with the truth that already exists in the unseen. It is about realizing that the door is already open, and your only job is to step through it with confidence. The moment you do, you will see reality shift in ways that seem almost magical. Opportunities will appear, the right people will enter your life, circumstances will rearrange themselves to match your inner conviction. So do not wait, do not stand still hoping for confirmation. Move as if it is already done, walk boldly, speak with certainty, carry yourself as someone who knows they are already living in the answered prayer. The moment you do, the world will reflect that truth back to you. The door is open. Step through it with faith and watch how life transforms before your eyes. Time is an illusion. The moment you have asked, the answer has been given. The moment you have desired, the way has been prepared. But in the physical world where the senses dominate, it is easy to believe that because you do not yet see movement, nothing is happening. This is the greatest deception. Believing in delay, believing in waiting, believing in the idea that what is truly yours is somehow beyond your reach. You must understand that what is meant for you cannot be lost. It is not something outside of you that you must chase. It is already established in the unseen, waiting for your alignment, waiting for you to believe, waiting for you to step into the version of yourself that is ready to receive it. When you stop seeing the delay as a denial and start recognizing it as a period of preparation, everything shifts. The mind, conditioned by the physical world, expects immediate results. It wants to see proof before it believes. But the spiritual law works in reverse. Belief must come first, and then the manifestation follows. If you stand in doubt, questioning when your desires will appear, you hold yourself apart from them. If you let impatience cloud your vision, you risk turning away from what is already unfolding in your favor. Think of a seed buried in the soil. You do not see its roots spreading beneath the surface, but they are there, growing, expanding, securing their place in the earth. If you were to dig up the seed in frustration, demanding to see progress, you would only interrupt its natural process. The same is true for your manifestations. Just because you do not yet see them does not mean they are not taking form. There is a timing that is beyond human understanding, a perfect orchestration that ensures everything arrives at the exact moment it is meant to. Not a second too soon, not a moment too late. Trust that your path is unfolding exactly as it should. The more you surrender to this truth, the more peace you will find. Worry and doubt will only create resistance. But faith, unwavering, quiet, steady faith, will allow everything to come with ease. What is meant for you will never require force. It will never require desperation. If you feel anxious, if you feel desperate, if you feel like you must fight for it, you are operating from a place of lack, from a place of fear that it might not happen. And when you hold on to that fear, you keep yourself in the energy of waiting, of delay, of separation from what is already yours. Shift your focus from time to trust. If you believe that delay is an illusion, then every moment is simply a step closer to what is already written for you. You no longer wait in frustration, but move in confidence, knowing that everything is working in divine order. You begin to see the signs, the subtle shifts, the moments of alignment that prove everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Nothing real can be taken from you. Nothing that is yours can be given to another. The only thing you must do is remain aligned with the version of yourself that is already living in the fulfillment of your desire. Walk as if it is done, speak as if it is done, carry yourself as if there was never a question, never a doubt, only certainty. The door is not closed, it has never been closed, it is already open, and your only task is to step through it with the knowing that what is waiting on the other side has belonged to you from the very beginning.